been in hiding ever since his grand experiment. No one's seen him in years.
All we hear are orders delivered by proxy. Except you. You met with him, face to face, in order to contact Big Boss. Tell me where he is. Where is Cypher? Where is Zero? I've never known choice. Where I was born, the language I speak, I've never had the freedom to choose for myself. But you, right now, are free. Do as you will.
This will save Big Boss.
It may.
Will you really kill Zero for me?
Not for you.
All right. Zero is Hell's Kitchen, 10th Avenue. He is undergoing treatment there.
Not exactly Hyde Park.
His medical needs keep him from moving around. That is why he summoned me there. The other residents are of varying race and ages, but in reality, all 40 units are Cypher personnel. It took him 10 years to replace the original occupants. He has got places like this all over the world.
No better place to hide a needle than a stack of needles.
Zero is on the top floor. A room with no windows and no doors. Even the elevator does not reach it. Officially, the floor does not exist. The only access is by a secret staircase 1 floor down. Room 702.
Shades of World War II.
Nobody realizes the entire building is a setup. People go in and out all day.
So how does Skullface infect Zero? I wonder, does he use Pars again? Because obviously we know that he launches a parasite attack on Zero, so now he knows his location, but how would he get in there? I wonder if he uses Pars as a vector for that.
They're all Cypher. The building blends right in with the rest of the city. They disseminate rumors that a gang operates out of the building. That keeps most outsiders away. And most of them are there as security in case of an emergency. But even they don't know what they're really protecting. Foot traffic, goods coming in and out, phone lines, water and sewage. It is all monitored remotely by satellite and cameras inside and out. Should he need it, there is a sealed-off water conduit that can be used to escape to the Hudson River, and from there to the sea.
Hudson River.
But from the outside, it is just another building. A perfect disguise.
So the Major believes zero suspicion equals total security. Very bold. It's just the kind of ruse I'd expect from him. So long as no one's suspicions are aroused, you could hide there forever. On the other hand, if someone figures it out, there are dozens of ways in. And he's so paranoid about information slipping out, no one involved has the full picture. That ignorance is a weakness, the downfall of a need-to-know system. The pitfalls are clear. Circumventing them will be simplicity itself.
So what's his plan? It's a nice speech, but what does it mean?
You hate him, don't you?
Hate?
Caution, rain
He
approaching.
never left me to die. I owe him my life. I'm bound to repay the favor. Any way I can. But that's not what you really want to know. What you want to know is, do I hate Big Boss? I don't hate the man. I do deserve a little more of his gratitude. But he probably has no idea who I am.
Yeah, neither
So
did
you
we.
see, I have no reason to hate him at all. I mean to have my revenge against Zero. It's not petty hatred or resentment. Nothing so personal. Even the hottest lava eventually cools, becoming a mountain. And that mountain becomes the land. Scalding steam comes back down as rain, forming rivers, draining into the sea. It's then that nature's order sets in. Now I'm merely a part of that cycle. Just like Zero. And you. And Big Boss.
Don't do it!
That lava, that vengeance, is already set as stone. Too late to change things now.
Don't kill him!
The choice is not mine to make.
Please, let Big Boss live!
Proceed.
Please!
Give her the shot already! Hold her still!
And you get the rest of the idea. So, again, from those cassettes and all that stuff, we know that Paz kind of changed her allegiance somewhat after the events of, well, basically at the end of Peace Walker, I think, after the whole Milk Gear Zeke thing happened. And she decided that she wanted to kind of side with Big Boss. So, if anything, in giving up Zero to Skullface, she tried to save Big Boss's life, but, well, I guess since Big Boss is still alive, it kind of worked, but not how she would have imagined it. So, Ocelot and Zero. Does Ocelot get a meeting with Zero as well? So I guess Paz isn't the only one then.
It's me, Ocelot. It's been quite a while. Yeah, I'll say. Took a lot longer for you to surface than I expected, Major. I wasn't planning on coming back at all, but I had no choice. Well, after the Caribbean. My hunch was proven right. You wouldn't believe who was behind it. Oh, I have an idea. How did you respond? Immediate disinformation campaign. Most bought into the story, but not everyone. It was quite an incident, after all. I couldn't cover everything, but I did hide the fact that Snake survived, and that should buy us some time. Where is he? En route to an old foxhole of mine. A base in the British sovereign area of Cyprus. The military hospital at Dikelia? Ava's leading the operation.
Oh shit, so there's Eva. Okay, well, she's not really in the story in terms of dialogue or cutscene or anything like that, but at least she's around.
Ava? Following your orders? Funny, isn't it? That we should all reunite like this.
Like, this is the kind of stuff that I wanted to see, man. I really wanted to see this kind of stuff and not have to hear it like this, but that would have been cool to see.
This is an emergency. Otherwise, I sure as hell would... Yes, I don't expect you to bury the hatchet between us. Something simply won't ever happen. Even I can appreciate that. You two can only bear to speak with me from time to time. That's fine. But I don't want Snake to die. Surely we can come together on that. There are so few men I can turn to. And you're number one, Ocelot. Keep him hidden. Keep him safe. But I'll stay where I am and leave the rest to you. That's how he'd want it too.
Isn't it better for you to be there to supervise?
Where I am, where he goes, it makes no difference. All that matters is getting him the very best treatment and security. The latter being where you come in. Will he wake up? And if so, when? I have absolutely no idea. But as long as his heart is beating, he will keep fighting. So please, watch over him.
This location, it's safe?
No one will find him. And if they try, I will deal with them. The information must be suppressed.
Which is what you do best. Guess you're still at the top of your game, huh?
Anything but. I'm sick, Ocelot. Donald's taken over a great deal. He'll be handling this situation from here on as well. Though I wish it weren't so. This will probably be the last time you and I speak. So, you won't say no, will you?
I have no choice.
Thank you.
Save your thanks.
One more thing. A proposition.
Yes.
I've prepared a ruse of sorts. One I imagine you'll quite like.
What is it?
You could say I've made another snake.
Yes. So, does this mean that my theory about the whole intro thing being a ruse, is that correct then, I guess? I'll be happy if I've got that one.
Major?
I'm not talking about the children.
Yeah, okay.
A mental copy. His phantom, if you like.
Yep, I did say Cypher
I don't
might have been behind this
understand.
whole thing.
You will when you get to Cyprus. I've set the ball in motion, but the rest is in your hands. You're good at this kind of thing. The best. I need you on this.
If it's in his best interests.
I assure you, it is. Look after Snake. He's the toughest son of a bitch I've ever known.
Oh man, what a good way to end that. That was an interesting recording, man. I really wish we could see this as a cutscene, because this is like a really pivotal kind of point in the story. The fact that Zero, even with this stuff, he set it all into motion. I'm pretty certain that explains why Big Boss and Venom Snake managed to make it out alive in that hospital, because there was just absolutely no reason why they should have been able to do that. So it all comes back to Zero once again, as it always tends to do in Metal Gear games. Damn.
Yes, it's me. You weren't in hospital long. I had trouble finding you.
Where is he?
Safe. But in the same state as when you last saw him. We've had our misunderstandings, you and I. But as you've made clear, our relationship is strictly business. Therefore, I will limit this conversation to the business at hand. Please understand that I don't dislike you. Not inherently.
Where is Snake?
Now. Settle down, or I'll have to hang up. And then you never hear from me again.
So, when we were watching the ending, Kars made it seem like he had no idea that he was kind of working with the Phantom Snake. And he was very upset about that, and he said to Ocelot, you know, later on, we're going to have to face each other, I'm ready for it, all this kind of stuff. Maybe that was also Kars kind of acting here, because of what Zero's about to say next.
Do you understand? First, about your boss. I had him moved once he was stabilized. I'm sure it came as quite a shock to you when you woke up. You'll have to forgive me.
I told him to stop putting me under.
Surely you understand. Specialized medical treatment in places like that can be positively nightmarish. We couldn't have left him there forever. And to be honest, I wasn't entirely comfortable leaving matters in your hands. Don't take it the wrong way. Anyone looking for him would be looking for you. He needed to be as far from you as possible. In fact, I'm still not sharing his location, even now. Problems could arise. So, instead, I'm giving you a point of contact. An introduction to a network of messengers who will lead you to a man. A friend to your boss. I'm sure he's mentioned him before.
Ocelot.
He knows Snake's location. More than any man alive, I trust him with this sort of thing. Keeping secrets, or men in the dark. He's known Snake quite a while. 10 years longer than you.
Indeed.
Kazuhira, I don't care if you don't trust me, but I require your absolute trust in him on this. Snake will be brought back into this world, however long it takes. Understood? The only reason we're having this conversation is because you still have a role to play. Which brings me to the next issue. What happens after he regains consciousness? When Snake wakes up, and he will, he'll need your help again. So when he does, I promise you'll be the first to know. The code phrase will be, V has come to. I'll then mobilize all the necessary parties. Think of it as an overture to a prologue. Until then, do what you like. Just be ready when the time comes. But you don't need me to tell you that, do you? I know it's been hard on you too. But I can't imagine you're willing to just walk away.
What are you talking about? If what you're saying is true, then this is like wrapping a rope around your own neck and throwing it over a branch. What's your play in all this?
This is for Snake.
This is the answer to the question I've been waiting for. Since I started listening to these truth records, and since I read that whole thing about Zero keeping Snake alive, this has been my question. Why? Hopefully he explains it in a clear enough way that I won't be confused now.
So that he survives after he wakes up. Nothing more. After that, I don't care what you do.
But again, why?
And tell me something.
Go on.
I only joined you after I found out what you were after. To make the world one, you need Snake for that.
Yeah, that's...
And he's already done a hell of a lot for you.
He has.
So on some level at least, I think you're being straight with me. Then why'd you do that to him? I get what you were trying with Paz. You wanted to get Snake any way you could. But after that, what you did, how could you do that to him?
After that wasn't me. You may not believe this, but I never intended for any of this to happen.
What?
My organization has many arms. It's just going to take a little longer before we're all on the same page. I admit I may have been lax in my supervision, but something like that will not happen again.
So, what does this mean now? Is he trying to say that kind of Skullface and XOF and whatever, they went out of control? They weren't under his supervision to a decent enough extent, so that's why the events of 9 years ago happened. And that really Snake, since the word go, has always pretty much been under Zero's control, and Zero's always wanted to use him as a means to achieving his own end. So has Snake's always kind of been under his spell since the very beginning, it seems.
Whatever. One day, I'll know the truth. Just as soon as the boss wakes up. And then we're coming after you. This ends with you begging us to put you out of your misery.
Is that so? Fantasy can make for a powerful ally. But remember this reality, Kazuhira Miller. Big Boss will wake up. And when he does, be there for him.
Whoa. Wait, sorry, was there another one? I thought that was the final one. Shit. Oh my god. Alright, there's still more. Maybe I might get the answer to my question after all.
Major, I wondered whether you'd really call.
Exer, I presume this was your doing?
Do you like my gift?
I've been searching a long time for this.
It is what you were looking for, yes.
The winged dagger of a comrade lost to the sands of Egypt. He served under the boss back in Rayforce. I delivered this pin to her after his death. We were both so very young. From that moment on, she never let it leave her side.
She was still carrying it in Selinoyarsk. How about the back? Something wrong, Major?
Oh shit, so this is how he attacked him. He somehow managed to get a package in to Zero and infected him somehow.
Nothing, just pricked my finger.
The back.
The scar is there, just as I remember it. And this white stitching on the back. From the white berets the SAS wore in the early days.
Major?
30th of December, 1941. It's the inscription I made the day he died.
Of course.
His body was never recovered. This pin badge is the closest thing he has to a gravestone. When I gave it to her, she just kept on running her finger over the inscription. Never again, she uttered, as if reprimanding herself for his death.
So this is Sorrow.
She pressed hard, embedding the inscription itself into her finger. You see, it's why this spot on the back looks shinier than the rest. He was our brother in arms.
So...
Yes, it's real. Thank you. There's no doubt about it.
Good. Now I have no regrets.
What do I owe you?
Nothing. Just want to talk for a moment.
Very well, then.
It's about our man, Major. He's been making some moves.
Miller? Yes, I know. Rhodesia, is it?
Yes, and up to his old tricks again.
No matter. He'll stumble soon enough.
Although he is under my jurisdiction now.
And that's what you want to talk about?
Not exactly. You see, my being here's made me realize I can still be of use to you.
How so?
This country is rich with biological resources. Bacteria, nematodes, viruses. I'm sure we can find something here to bring that plan back into action.
Forget it. The Cleanser Project was just another one of my predecessor's daydreams.
And the vocal cord parasites?
Were an excellent test case for reverse evolution. Nothing more. What matters now is the genetics technology behind that work. With genetics, the clumsiness in targeting an entire race isn't an issue. We can target specific individuals. No need to breed multiple generations of parasite just to get results.
But
Don't be quaint, Exo. Once the Cold War is over, our enemies won't be so clearly defined. Using humans alone won't be enough. An electronic network will span the globe, and our enemies will blend right into it.
You may be right. But will people really settle for an enemy they can't see? Men want to feel righteous, need to see the evil in the enemy they fear. Without it, they'll turn their aggressions inward, find an enemy inside. You know this is true.
I see what you're saying. Just as those robbed of their parasites develop allergies and autoimmune diseases, a man robbed of his enemy develops self-destructive tendencies. And I know all the symptoms. Ethnic conflict, religious strife, terrorism. And with asymmetrical conflict, deterrence is a joke. That's why we must depend on information control. People need an appropriate context for their lives. A context that's stimulating without being destructive. That balance is the basis of equilibrium.
You mean to say people will blindly accept your context without developing any allergies?
If we're to unite the world, literacy must be suppressed. To suppress the information immune system, to borrow your metaphor.
Immunity to information. But to ensure there's no allergic reaction, while the immune system fights off parasites and pathogens.
It's done, Exo. This world will become one. I have found the way. The world that the boss envisioned will finally become a reality.
So here we go. There's that line once more. I mean, that is literally, you have a Metal Gear story spanning God knows how many games now. I've lost count. But the overarching like thing that stands at the top of the pyramid of all of this stuff is the boss's will, and Major Zero's interpretation of it and Big Boss's interpretation of it. And Zero, he's figured it out for his own, line of reasoning. He believes that information control will unite the world in the way the boss envisioned. So that's why he's done everything that he's done in this story.
Race, tribal affiliations, national borders, even our faces will be irrelevant. The nature of communication itself will change, and it will make mankind whole again.
Some things can't be undone. My face was taken from me.
Okay, again I have to object here because this guy was burned, right, so his face is fucked up. But Quiet was burned as well, but Quiet gets the gorgeous face and the massive boobs, while Skullface has to have that wrangly old face. So, tut-tut.
There's no taking that back.
A face means nothing when one's soul is able to communicate directly with another.
I have no intention of hiding behind your technological veil, Major. I wear my broken visage, this skull, in the open, so that I may never forget what I've lost.
Well, that showed me. I may have said it, because I remember making this comment once before, but I don't know if I added this to my comment, that Skullface might be looking like that on purpose, just because that's how he wants to look, as in maybe there was a way for him to regain his old face, but based on what he said now, he looks like that by choice, I think.
You. What are you?
The chain of retaliation is what will truly bind this world together as one.
Yeah, that's why I was saying he's infected him.
Major.
Wow. He got one up on the Major.
You son of a...
Not many people do that.
The pin. You...
Yes, the pin.
Yeah, yep. So this is Paz is doing, to be honest.
It's too late. They can't extract it. You see, Major, some things can't be undone.
Oh.
How did you find me? The girl. You made her talk.
I'm sorry I couldn't visit or thank you in person, but it has been lovely chatting. And now that I know you're no longer interested in the garden, it's time for you to step aside. You're a busy man, lots to do, so I've left you a little time.
Go to hell. How dare you? You planned this all along. Had your own agenda. All these years. Yeah.
Now you see, the world can never truly become one.
But the boss...
You've been wrong.
You're no different. Just like him. None of you understand the world she saw.
I would say the same to you, Major.
You steal it all away. Everything.
The boss said the same thing. Only I understood what she meant. Major, I'll handle the rest.
So now we have a third player in all this. I mean, before, up until this game, it was always Big Boss's interpretation versus Zero's interpretation. Now we have a third one, which was Skullface's interpretation. There's like a three-way power struggle going on between those three to interpret the boss's will. And Skullface was a major player, and I don't know how they kept him hidden, up until this game. But the fact that this guy was such a force in the story, and pretty much, I think as a result of this attack on Zero had to step back, and he was never the same again. Although he survived for like 40 years after this attack, he was never the same again.
Oh, and one more thing. That pin badge, it was a fake.
He did his research.
I held on to the real one. I'll take good care of it. And continue the boss's work.
Jack.
Okay, all of the recordings so far have been very good, and I'm hoping that this final one between Zero and Snake is really gonna be the final wrap up to enlighten us on this whole interpretation of the boss's will and what Zero's plan was for Snake by keeping him alive. I'm pretty sure, like I said from the beginning, it links back to Eva's speech in Metal Gear Solid 4, but I'm hoping that this gives us the final piece of information we need to really understand what Zero was up to. Is this after he's woken up from the coma, or is he just... I think he's still in the hospital.
Go.
I almost thought you wouldn't come.
Well, you're supposed to visit hospital before you die.
But how did you get here?
My friends at the SAS know how to keep a secret. The trip to the airport was a little dramatic, but the rest was easy. Still, I've had smoother rides. Oh, look. Scalded myself with my tea. I won't be staying long.
I understand.
Which one is he?
On the right.
And the left?
We did just as you instructed.
Has either of them awoken?
Neither of them. No.
Not once?
Not in 2 years. Their weekly EEGs show stable activity levels. There's been practically no change.
So the one thing that I have a question about here is Zero was always confident that Snake would wake. I mean, when he was talking to Ocelot, I think it was, he said, and he will wake. But surely being in a coma for 9 years is not something that you can really plan for. I mean, it seems like he had absolutely no kind of fear that Snake was not going to come out of his coma, which is interesting because being in a coma for 9 years is almost unheard of, and two guys being in a coma for 9 years, one being, I think, kept in an induced coma, and the other one in a legit one, is not really something that you can base a plan around, from what I can understand.
Jack? Jack? It's me. You look fit to run a country mile.
Every 4 hours, we move all of their muscles, subject them to load. They're stable, but eventually...
Yes, of course.
We've done everything we can to ensure they're ready to move, should they wake up. Still, it's been a pretty long time. How long will they be here?
Indefinitely. It's too dangerous to move them. And so far, no one knows they're here.
I see.
I am most grateful to you. And I need you to keep it up.
We'll do everything we can.
Is this just a random doctor?
Can you give us a moment?
Of course.
Jack, can you hear me? Nice place, isn't it? I went to a lot of trouble bringing you here.
But why?
Here, where no one will find you. Still, the Ocelot's on guard duty, just in case. Maybe knowing that will help you sleep better. I had no intention of coming, but this could be my last chance. If you'd just come to see me first. Do you remember the last time I visited you in hospital? Our first mission together.
After the virtuous mission.
After the boss threw you in that river. Broke your arm. Ah, the good old days. I never told you this, but I had another team at my disposal back then, with a very special man leading it. Maybe he didn't like the arrangement. In any case, this man, he seems to have done something to me. Which is why I'm quite sick myself. Up here, there's nothing they can do. I always was the forgetful type, as you know. I'm all right for now, but they say it's a one-way street. If you don't wake up soon, I won't remember you when you do. I don't mind about myself, but what he did to you, I can never forgive. I've sent him to Africa, and I doubt he's coming back. Jack, once your little holiday here is over, well, who knows when that will be? But anyway, I probably won't be around. I'll be somewhere even you can't find me. A tombstone chiseled into the code of a machine. That is all I leave to mark my existence. Wake up soon, old friend.
Rain approaching.
Time is running short.
So there we have it. The end of the Truth Records. Whew, that was a lot of information to take in. It definitely outlined the plan a lot more clearly, so now I understand the plan, you know, between having a phantom of Big Boss and all that kind of stuff, and the fact that it was Zero that came up with the whole idea, using Ocelot to protect, and, you know, to protect Big Boss and make sure the whole operation ran smoothly. Same with Miller, to make sure Miller was at his side when he awoke. So the whole kind of that kind of stuff makes sense. I guess they left that bit a little bit more ambiguous. You know, the whole why has Zero done this? Why did he keep Snake alive? I mean, you can tell, again, as Eva mentioned in Metal Gear Solid 4, forget everything that's happened before it. You know, Major Zero sees Big Boss as, regardless of everything, he's an old friend. And they will always have that special relationship regardless of what happens. Now, the only thing I'm a little bit unsure about, and again, because the Metal Gear story is just so long, spans so many games, and to be honest, I haven't played any Metal Gear Solid game in over 2 years. I'm not up to date on the story as I usually am, and to be honest, if you decide to sit down and read about the Metal Gear story from start to finish, it will take you hours and hours, so I'm probably going to have to go back and do some more reading just to fill up on the holes that I'm missing in the story. But all I'm trying to understand here is, did Zero keep Snake alive because he saw him as part of his plan? I think that's the way I see it. You know, I reckon he believes that the Snake will see things the way that he does, and I think maybe whether he knows it or not, he will be, you know, a vital piece in carrying out the boss's will. So that's why Zero wants him to survive. Because, I mean, that's the only way that it would really make sense. He wouldn't just do it just because it's his friend. I mean, if you think about Zero's plans, he has much bigger goals than that. So, in that sense, I would think that he's keeping him around because he was an important piece of the puzzle that he needed to implement his plan. And I guess at the time he needed someone to take out Skullface as well, because Skullface obviously infected him with the parasite, so he was needed for that as well.